Hi guys, thanks for joining me on Daliso's talk show, and let's look ahead at Liverpool versus Arsenal, our biggest game of the season so far in the Premier League. Now, this matchup is probably the most looked forward to, because we've got Liverpool, the defending champions. These guys won the league last year very comfortably. Unexpectedly as well, because I think everyone thought Arsenal were going to win it, but Arsenal just could not compete with Liverpool. They had everything going their way, Liverpool. They had the consistency as well as, the rub of the green, sort of. So let's look at the head-to-head first before we go any further. So last season, the May fixture, it was 2-2, and the one previously at the Emirates was also 2-2, a draw. And previously in the previous season, Arsenal beat Liverpool 3-1, and Liverpool beat Arsenal 2-0 as well. Oh yeah, and then Liverpool, I'm trying to see where we are. Oh, that's the FA Cup. So in the Premier League in 2023-2024, it was a draw at Anfield. And then when they came to the Emirates, Arsenal beat them 3-1. And then that's in the Premier League. Then it's been 2-2 draws for both games last season. Arteta has had nothing but good to say about Liverpool, but he has to be diplomatic. He knows he can't blame the rub of the green. And he says that they are the champions for a reason, because they deserve to be champions. They were the better team last season, the most consistent one, the one that found ways to win in many different ways. We want to be that team this year. And I like that attitude. I hope he means that. And I hope the players really, really understand that this is the mentality we should be taking into this match and into the rest of the matches this season. Because Arsenal have made a lot of improvements in the front line. Those were our biggest drawback last season was that we did not have a striker. We had plenty of injuries, which are all documented and well known about, but we really, really struggled up front because we just didn't have a number 9. Now that we've got Kerkez, hopefully is going to stay fit. We don't have any other option but Kerkez as well. So we need to keep him fit, and we need to keep him firing, and we need to keep the assists going in. I'm very concerned because of the injuries. The injuries to Odegaard, who I thought would be the guy we're relying on to get the service into Kerkez. So I am very concerned that he's not fit. He had a shoulder injury, so I've got a feeling he's definitely not going to start. It looks like it's not going to be a long injury. It looks like it's going to be short term, but still he's out for this match, I think. And we know Bukayo Saka is out for this match. I think another player who we know when we put him down there, we're always going to get something out of. Now, let me go through the possible lineups as listed. Well, possible lineup is not out yet from live score because I'm doing this early. I've got a busy day on Saturday, so I won't be able to do it. So doing it Friday evening. But yeah, we know for Liverpool, Alexis McAllister has got an injury. He's also one of the players Liverpool really rely on in that midfield. And when they're playing McAllister, I'm more fearful of Liverpool's composure. They really rely on him to get, their midfield firing and, very stable. We saw in the game against Newcastle how much they missed McAllister in that midfield. And not having him playing is going to be a concern for them. But they do have a lot of other options, but not as good as McAllister. Live score seem to think, Frimpong has got a hamstring strain, so he might not play, but they've got a lot of other options. Now, for Arsenal, we've got Bukayo Saka out, Jesus, we know, Odegaard, his shoulder, Kai Havertz had knee surgery again. Poor guy. Christian Norgaard, captain material, but he's out. He's got a knock. And Ben White as well might not be playing. We've got options for Ben White. We've got Mosquera, we've got Julian Timber. So I'm not that concerned. My concerns are really our number 8, our Odegaard, as well as Bukayo Saka. Eberechi Eze, Life Score seem to think he won't be available. I am not sure about that. But I hope he is available because we need him. You know where Bukayo Saka is, we can happily, I think, replace, we can happily play Madueke there. If Waneri plays in Odegaard's position, I think with the protection of Zubamendi and Rice, as well as having a player like Madueke that side and Julian Timber starting at right back, I think he'll be safe enough. We'll be able to protect him. He might not be able to be as effective as Odegaard, but I think it's good training and a good opportunity for him to sort of start eating into the team, to start gaining momentum and become more trusted. And the only way you can do that sometimes is being able to play proper games. So Zubamendi, Rice, I think Calafiori will definitely be starting. I prefer him to start, although I do like Miles Lewis-Skelly. I think Lewis-Skelly, I prefer him in midfield instead of left back, but he can still do a great job there. But Calafiori starting, especially if we're going to be starting Waneri, is more important. Then the pressure is not so much on Miles Lewis-Skelly. Can always come on as a sub. Our centre-back pairing, we know it's going to be Gabriel Magalhaes and Saliba, all sorted there. Up front, of course, we are going to have Gyökeres, and then we've got the option on the side of Eberechi Eze, fingers crossed, or Martinelli, who, it's not a bad option at the end of the day. We still have a great keeper, but if you're going to be going to Anfield, you need a strong team as possible. Now, I've already said that the last few games have been 2-2 draws, but I think Arsenal have made a lot of improvements. And you have to remember the game at Anfield. We had a sending off. Was it Saliba? Who was that who got sent off very early in that match? We had to basically, we played with 10 men for quite some time, and it affected the way we're going to play. Probably not good enough to win. Let me be honest. We really had some shortcomings, but I do believe this time round, Arsenal have got everything it takes to take 3 points from Anfield. I can tell you Liverpool's defense is really, really short at the moment and dodgy. Did you say Konate? Konate was lucky not to be sent off against Newcastle. Virgil van Dijk, of course, is magnificent, yeah? I mean, Virgil van Dijk is a magnificent defender. So he'll be the one, obviously, who's going to be guiding everything, but he can't do the job by himself. So their defense is a bit dodgy. We'll see what happens. Frimpong, of course, is there a right back or left back? Anyway, he seems to be injured. Let me see what team they started against Newcastle, because I'm sure that is a similar team that they're going to put up unless something changes. Right, so Liverpool had Alisson in goal. They had Szoboszlai at right back. Kerkez, pretty decent, but still not, I think, completely integrated. So it was pretty decent. Gravenberch, he scored their goal, but he was not as solid in there. Then they had Curtis Jones, Florian Wirtz, Cody Gakpo, and Mo Salah, who likes a goal. Honestly, Mo Salah is something else, isn't he? Hugo Ekitike. Now, Hugo Ekitike is super dangerous. The only way to stop him scoring is to make sure he doesn't get the ball in a good position. So it will be very important for players like Zubamendi to get in that midfield and block any opportunities for him. Otherwise, we are cooked. We've got a decent keeper in goal. Raya will do everything to keep the balls up. Then we've got our corners as well. With our corners, Liverpool's defenders and players are very tall. You've got Gravenberch in there who looks very tall. Van Dijk, Konate, very tall, very physical. But the delivery, if Rice is playing, I think the delivery is going to be enough to get us at least a goal from a set piece from a corner. So at least that's one way of doing it. Then we have to be able to get the ball into the path of Gyökeres, because he showed against Leeds that if he takes the ball at a certain point, he can make those Thierry Henry-esque runs and score. He's got that ability as well. So it's something I'm looking forward to seeing. It's going to be a very challenging match. I will try and keep up to date with everything. I might even do like a watch along. I am not sure if I'll be able to. I've got a very busy weekend this weekend, but yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think this match is going to be an Arsenal win or a Liverpool win? Do you think Arsenal have done enough this season to build on their team for us to be able to sort of compete or out compete Liverpool? Let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me. Looking ahead to the match between Liverpool and Arsenal on Sunday. Let me know. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.